These are not news photographs, these are not individual sort of stories. It's all about the common themes of conflict, of people who've been displaced by war, the realities of it. This is, I think, Kintsugi. In Japan, somebody took me to this museum and they showed me these beautiful pieces of porcelain that have been broken and then fixed with gold. And then they say, well, actually the cracks are part of the story. And for somebody, you know, I was injured in Afghanistan in 2011. I have plenty of scars across my body, and whether it be that or psychological scars, we tend to hide them. But actually we should celebrate those, because for me, those gold lines, they represent resilience. And this whole exhibition actually was based on this idea of resilience. Most of the stories of women that I've got to know over the years and documented, and their stories of resilience. Shama is a Syrian refugee from Homs. She said, we don't want a photographer, so we need help. So that's what I did. And over the next week, I spent every day there just with the family listening. I mean, that's what I always say, the most important thing as a journalist, a photographer, storyteller is listen. And after about a week, I was ready to put the sheet up and start my portraits. Shama, the kind of matriarch of this community, was in her 80s, hadn't spoken to me the whole time. Every so often I'd kind of catch a glimpse of her, just watching me. But on that day, as I was setting up and I put my white sheet up, I turned around, I was getting ready with my camera, I turned back and she was stood in front of the sheet. Now, I actually don't like using the word taking a photograph, because I always say the best photographs are given. And that was the most beautiful example ever. Shama gave me her portrait. I never asked to take a photograph. Jermaine is part of a community that I met. They were refugees from DR Congo. And I bumped into Jermaine and her friends. I walked up to them and I said, look, you two look like trouble. And they went, we are. But we just got really well. And I asked them, how did they want to be represented? How did they want to be photographed? In there was a couple of photographs I'd done from my fashion days, and they loved these pictures. And they said, can you photograph us like that? And as I say, these women had gone through incredibly difficult times, but we didn't focus on that. Too often we focus on that element of the story. The hand, that was taken in Mosul during the fighting there a few years ago, but it was destruction on a kind of mass scale. Dawood put his hand up and did that little V sign, V for victory sign. From doing all this work, I realized it wasn't enough just to document, that I actually wanted to see lives changed in some sort of way. So that's when we set up the Legacy of War Foundation. They choose to work with us, they are the ones in control, and that's what we've tried to do with all our projects. So it's all about listening to the people and asking, what is it that we can do to help? How can we support you in to rebuild your life? You know, I've been to so many conferences about, you know, how do we solve the refugee crisis? How do we, it's actually very simple. You know, people need security, safety, and education.